Wanna talk? So let's talk. Here, talk. You wanna talk? You gotta talk, you need to talk. News talk.
I talk, you talk to Solomon. I talk, you talk to Solomon. Yeah, let's talk to Solomon. Talk to Solomon.
You gotta talk your
Welcome back. It's Talk to Solomon time. Thanks so much for joining us. Our guest, Major General Jerry Curry. General, we are seeing a phenomenon happening in America that I think is quite extraordinary. We are seeing quote-unquote blue states get bluer and red states get redder. And we're seeing the gun grabbing, gun control, gun outlawing laws in Chicago, in Connecticut, in Colorado, in California, in New York. But we're seeing, like in Arkansas, even though they have a Democrat governor, their state legislature, House and Senate, have overridden their governor in a voter ID bill. They want voter ID. They want pictures in order to vote. And we're seeing this happen where states, Idaho and Montana and Wyoming and even states like Indiana and Wisconsin are standing up and saying certain things, and then you have other states that want to go the other direction. My question really is, do you believe that we're going to see migration in this country as people are leaving California because of what's happening there? They're leaving New York because of what's happening there. They're leaving the Northeast because of what's happening there. We're seeing people moving to the South, to the Southwest, to the West, to the Midwest. I mean, I could see the point, and we have lots of talk of secession. Texas is very strong. Can you see a point where America would be, quote unquote, divided?
No, I don't think so. Texas is different from other states because they came in as an independent country, when they became a state. And the way the laws were written when they joined us were that if at any time down the road they were persuaded that it wasn't in their best interests to remain a part of the United States, that they had the right, and they're the only state that is like that they have the right to just simply say goodbye and to walk away. But I don't think it's going to fall. America is going to fall apart. I see America is we're going to end up stronger out of this. I imagine that these kinds of discussions were probably held 1860, right before the Civil War. I think that all over the country that people were debating, should we do this, should we do that? I just have a feeling that when this is all over, we're going to find out that we're going to end up with a strong, a Lincoln kind of guy, or perhaps a Reagan, another one of those, or a Teddy Roosevelt. But it'll be surprised. It's surprising how few people it takes to have good government. And I believe we're going to end up with the right leader, because I do not believe that God formed this country and put it together to give it away to a bunch of idiots and the devil. And that's what all this talk is about. I believe we're going to end up with the country still together and stronger and better.
See?
I certainly hope the general is right. He very well could be. I do remember, though, in the last presidential election where all of the news media had all the electoral college maps flashed everywhere and talked about, well, the candidate has to win Ohio and has to win Florida and blah, 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 blah. And so if these migrations come and go to the right areas, we could control the electoral college. The president is not elected by popular vote. He's elected by the electoral college votes. If the right numbers of people get in the right electoral college states, we could control the presidential race by the electoral college, as long as we control the cheating.
And you just said the word, I took the word right out of my mouth. I don't believe there's anything even resembling a fair election. I think Barack Obama won with massive cheating. I think that Democrats feel they have a right to cheat. They brag about cheating. Republicans are afraid that they'll be called names. You know what? If you're a low-life son of a pup, you're a low-life son of a pup. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care where you're from, and I don't care where you're going. You know, my philosophy is put a condom on your bumper and drive over the son of a gun. It'll be safe for your bumper. We know that there is in-your-face cheating, and they dare us to say anything about it. Just like this idea, we don't want people to have a picture in order to vote. I mean, where is the logic behind that, General?
There is no logic. This is insanity. This is the stupidest thing that you could possibly come up with. You know, the idea that you can't have a driver's license to drive without a picture ID, and you're telling me you can go and vote, which is more important than driving anything, and you can go and vote and walk off with no ID. Give me a break. That is a license to steal, and the Democrats ought to be ashamed of themselves, and anybody who supports that policy ought to be ashamed of themselves.
But they're not ashamed because they have no shame. They're not upset because they believe that the end justifies the means. These are godless people overwhelmingly. These are deviant people overwhelmingly. These are moralist people overwhelmingly. These are dishonest people overwhelmingly. And to sit here and say, are you ashamed of yourself, I think is not going to win the day.
Well, I wasn't trying to win the day. I was just trying to give you the feeling of where I come at this thing from. No, I think there are an awful lot of things that would have to be done if we're going to win the day. And part of them is you got to win the hearts and the minds of the people. And you can't be mamby-pamby about speaking up against things that are evil and speaking in favor of things that are good, speaking about the president, speaking about the House and the Senate, speaking about the Republicans and the Democrats. I think we just need an awful lot of folks out there leading the show who are telling the truth to the American people. You know, if the American people get the truth in their mind, in their hearts, in their spirits, they will do the right thing.
Democrats treat elections like a war. Unless you use the same kind of tactics, you will not defeat them. So when the voter ID is a battle tactic for them. They don't want it because they can use non-identification as a tactic to cheat and get their way. So we have to use the same kind of philosophy like it's a war and battle them to win the day.
I think there's a very reasonable answer. If you cheat while voting, in other words, if you vote under someone else's name, if you claim to be someone who you're not, if you vote more than one time, you get the death penalty. There's an old saying, if ducks had guns, no one would hunt ducks. If we would get serious, I think we could eliminate cheating. If we eliminated cheating, the Democrats would only win 3 elections. That would be 2 primaries and a duel. And that would be if they were fighting with themselves. We cannot, in Indiana, everyone knows that the Congress lady that died, Julia Carson, and her Muslim whatever the hell he is, nephew something, they brag about cheating. They take buses and vans and they drive people around, they pay them and give them where to vote and how to vote, and they do it, and no one can say anything because they're going to call you a racist. And we do the same thing up in Lake County around Chicago. And of course, God knows what they do in Chicago. You know, it's wonderful to be an American citizen because you can vote, you know, 100 years after you die.
and 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, right. Multiple times. All right, I'm going to talk about another 1 and 1 is 2 thing. We started talking about amnesty. They called it all kinds of names. A road to citizenship. Bringing them out of the shadows. You know what? I'd like to bring them out of the shadows so I can get a clean shot. But here's the fact. Ever since we started talking about that, the number of illegals coming to this country has more than doubled. Hello. If you're going to give me goodies, don't you think that I'm going to come and get them? What moron thinks that if you start talking about letting illegals stay that you're not going to get, oh, well, only ones have been here 3 years. Well, how the hell do you know if they're in the shadows? Well, I know. You ask their other illegal friends how long they've been here. How long have I been here? How long have you been here? Well, 27 years.
But if we're here illegally, we get a bonus because we're going to get ahead of the line of those that are trying to come in legally.
Well, they say no, but everyone knows that's a crock. The fact is, possession is 9/10 of the law, and those that are here are going to take priority over those who are not here. Isn't that logical, General?
Not a bit. You know, the whole idea doesn't make any sense to me. If you said that you wanted the light on and you wanted to be able to get a clear shot at them, that's kind of cute and kind of funny. But I got to tell you, there's an awful lot of truth in that. The first thing we've got to do is we have to control the border, and we have to control the border. And that doesn't mean play around, play passy with them, and be nice and buy them a soda if they vote Democrat. We have to control the border and control everybody who's trying to get in here. And then we have to just enforce the current laws. If we just did that, we would get a leg up on this problem. The idea of 11 million illegal immigrants suddenly going to the head of the line is anathema. And I wouldn't stand for it for 2 seconds. And I would do whatever I had to do to see to it that it did not happen.
I sure wish you were the president, General. I really, really do. But you know, but what's happening here is the Democrats are buying votes. They're telling all of these illegal aliens, hey, come on in, you get free stuff, but the free stuff's getting paid for by us. And so they're using our money against us to embolden and empower their side of the fight.
Yeah, these folks, you know, they can get free college, they can get all sorts of bennies. I don't understand why the Republicans just sort of stand there and hem and haw and scratch their feet and stomp and fiddle around. My goodness, they ought to stand up and they ought to say, you people are illegal, you broke the law, and you're going out of this country.
The Democrats treat elections like a war, Republicans treat it like a debate. And none of them really care as long as they stay in power. That's all they care about. They don't care about us at all. They only care about staying in power. That's on both sides of the aisle.
All right, let me talk about something else that's different but the same. Since Barack Obama took over, which was actually before he was elected, and before he was inaugurated, because he started, as soon as he got in the campaign, started making demands on what things would be done, and even that $700 billion program that was under Bush was being pushed by Obama, and McCain for that matter. And what has happened? Now here's reality. Listen to this, folks. The general knows, chief knows, I don't know if all of you know. If you're a black person in America, you have been screwed, blued, and chewed big time. The black community in America collectively has lost 90% of its net worth since Barack Obama was made president of the United States. Now, the unemployment rate, and the head of Black Entertainment Television, Johnson, I think is his name, the son of the guy that started Ebony, he's saying, hey, if a white guy was, in charge and we had 14% unemployment in the black community, we wouldn't stand for it. So now his answer is, you need to start paying black people whether they work or not. Well, I have a message for you, Mr. Johnson. Kiss my Obama, okay? But let's get factual. And I'm not against blacks, in case some of you morons think that. My wife's black. I've been married 41 years. My kids are mixed. Although Obama's mixed, he's mixed up. My kids just have mixed races. But let's get back to fact. Black people, Hispanic people, Jewish people, homosexual people, white people, old people, young people, living people, and dead people are all worse off, big time, since Barack Obama became president. The only one that's benefited from him being president is him and his wide-bodied wife. Did I say that? He maybe said that.
Well, she's a double wide.
She's a double wide-bodied wife. The general told me to say that.
I don't know if I can handle this. Okay.
But seriously, everybody in this country is worse off, except some of the academics he's put in positions to steal from us.
And some of the people running the major corporations that are donating to his campaign.
Yeah, like GE.
Well, let me add a little bit more fuel to this fire. I have a nephew who's black. He's going to graduate from high school next month. He's going to join the United States Army. It's already a done deal. He's got the dates and location he's going to go. Now, at the same time, this young black man is going to join our Army and go defend us. Our government has cut off financial assistance for our soldiers, but are empowering and providing money to illegal aliens left and right, hand over fist, above and beyond what we're going to give our military veterans and military personnel. It's just a disgrace. It's awful. It's terrible. And the general mentioned Republicans. They should be right now filibustering everything until that is stopped, because it's a disgrace. It's awful. It's un-American for us to take better care of illegal aliens. We do our own military.
But it's not affecting Obama's monthly vacation.
Not a bit.
He's enjoying his vacations. His family is having a wonderful time with their vacations. It must be nice to be the president of the United States. You can go on vacation.
If any of our former presidents, certainly Republicans, but even Democrats, had done 1/10 of what Obama did, the press would be going crazy. But he hides behind his one black cheek and says, oh, well, it's got to be because I'm black. No, man, it's because you're a low-life, un-American, incompetent, disingenuous, dishonest, bottom-swimming scum-sucker.
Baby killing.
Yeah. All right.
All of the above. I got to tell you, I feel very strongly about it. I don't think for 1 second that we should be allowing this, but the news media fell in love with him. The news media just completely bent over backwards and said, anything you want, you can do to us, anything you want, we will obey, we will get on your bandwagon, we will reach your notes to the American people. We will be your representative to the American people, which is what they are. They will do whatever he tells them. It's most unfortunate, and I wish to heaven we had some news organization that would stand up and be a news organization.
Well, we've had some from Fox, not all, but we certainly have had some from Fox. We certainly have had it from Glenn Beck and others that are providing some alternative, but not from ABC, CBS, NBC, or CNBC,
or Fox, either.
MSNBC. And Fox is only partially. I'm saying they're the only ones that even partially. You get some guys like Kennedy and others that will tell the truth. And of course, you've got Limbaugh, who's done a good job, and others that have done, Savage and some of the others.
Mark Levin.
Mark Levin, certainly. Now,
he's great.
General, let me ask you another question. Planned Parenthood was asked, the representative, a lady named Elisa, a lobbyist representing the Florida Alliance of Planned Parenthood affiliates, before the Florida House, was opposing a law requiring abortionists to give necessary help to a living child laying on the table. And she said that should be between the mother and the health provider. Now, a mother who wants to kill her child and a health provider who makes their living killing children is very much like saying that Jewish people with a complaint should go to their local Nazi promoter to get support. Who's representing the child between the mother who wants the child dead and the medical provider who makes their living killing children? Would someone answer that for me, please?
Yeah, I would say to you, the whole thing is a big lie. Before Roe versus Wade, what was that, 1963, somewhere around there? 73.
63 was when they took prayer out of school. 73 was when they
Okay.
did Roe v. Wade.
So if you go back to Roe v. Wade, in those days they would say the language was this: the child is a part of the mother, which means that the child is the property of the mother, which is the same as the Dred Scott decision's logic back in just before the Civil War. When they finally got up the Supreme Court and they threw it out, and Dred Scott was taken back off to slavery. But that's what the law was, and so the result is that the Supreme Court said, since the child is part physically of the mother, that mother has the right to decide how to dispose of her property. Well, in between then and now, we have something came along called genes. And what genes says is the child is not physically part of the mother. She is totally, not she, but the child is totally different from the mother in every way, including physically. Therefore, the mother does not have the right to make a determination as to how to, quote, dispose of the child, the unborn baby, unquote. The unborn baby has rights, and until that child is old enough, those rights cannot be taken away.
And even when the child is old enough, you don't take away the rights, but the child can make decisions. You know, today, we appoint, what do you want to call them? Court-appointed guardians, court-appointed advocates for a child in need, a child in a dangerous situation, a child in a precarious situation. Even though sometimes they go overboard, the bottom line is we put what's in the best interest of the child first.
Yep.
All the people that are for abortion have already been born.
Yep.
That it's never in a child's best interest to kill the child.
Now,
one might argue if there's enough pain, if there's enough whatever trauma, someone may want to end it. And we have, decisions that can be made if a person has made certain requests or whatever, not to resuscitate and so on. But let me say, maybe I'll get thrown off the air, but it wouldn't be the first time. But if you believe that abortion is okay, you need to die and go to hell, because you'll be with lots of people that believe the same as you.
Yeah.
You won't be lonely anymore.
Here.
Here, I'm with it.
Is that reasonable?
That's very reasonable.
Right to the point.
All right. See what else I can do to get us in trouble.
Well, the general made an excellent point there, and since the unborn baby at conception has its unique DNA, different from the mother, and both the mother and the unborn baby, both under our founding documents and our Constitution, have the right to life, which we're obligated to protect.
You can go a step further. If I were, for whatever reason, to swallow a nickel, the nickel is in my body, but it's not part of my body. Now, the nickel is not alive, so the nickel doesn't have whatever inherent rights, but the argument that a child, because it nourishes from the mother, is part of the mother, has no scientific basis. And we know, because of tragedies that have happened, we have taken a child at a very young age, 18, 19 weeks of gestation, when something happened to the mother. We've even had mothers that died, but their bodies were kept alive until the child could be removed, and the child lived. The mother didn't live. The mother died. The child is not the mother. The mother is not the child. It's really not hard. You know who wants abortion? Ready? Abortion is wanted by racists. Abortion is wanted by environmentalists. Abortion is wanted by self-centered, selfish individuals, because that child represents something that will interrupt what they want. The child is really not the issue what they want is the issue. Now, people don't say it this way, but many people who want abortions want to be able to keep having whatever they're having, a party life, and the child is in the way. We're just about out of time. General, let me give the last couple minutes to you.
I love it because I think you're absolutely right on target with this thing. Children have the right to make their own decisions about their lives, and they would not kill themselves if they had the opportunity to make that decision. And we should be ashamed of ourselves as a society to pull that decision away from that child, to act in its place, and to just plain kill it. This is murder. Legalized murder.
Well, on that note, may all abortionists die before our next program, and may I be there to, fertilize.
Last rites. Last rites.
Yeah, I'll give them the last rites. Okay, Major General Jerry Curry, as always, it's been a joy. Thank you for your leadership, and when you run, you call me. I'm there for you.
Me too.
Okay. Both of you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good night, sir, and thank you for watching, folks. Stay tuned. We got more coming your way. Let me ask you a question. Do you like being sick? I have in my hand an incredible product. It's called TR10 supercolloidal silver. TR10 stands for a trace to the negative 10th power. The particles in this silver product are 6 to 8 angstroms, 6 to 8 10 billionths of a meter. Now listen to me. Silver has been the magic bullet for all of human existence. The Egyptians used silver instruments. We use silverware. They put silver in your teeth because nothing can grow on silver. Silver will kill anything but liberalism. I'm working on that. This product, you go to cpnlive.com, buy 1 quart of this product. It will last you for a very long time. Anytime you feel like you've been exposed to something bad, take some of this product, spray it in your mouth, or take a little bit and gargle it, swallow it. It will kill any pathogen. The average antibiotic kills 10 to 20 different pathogens. This product will kill 700 plus. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your doctor a favor. He's tired of seeing you. Get supercolloidal silver. Go to cpnlive.com, order the product. It's $29.95 plus shipping. I think it's $39.95 delivered any place in America right to your door. It's worth 10 times that. Check it out. If you're not 100% happy, just return it and we'll give you your money back. I like to eat. Do you like to eat? We all do. And usually we run to the grocery store, we run to the convenience store, or we have something in the fridge. But power's been out in parts of this country in the last few weeks. We don't know what's going to come down the pike economically. Smart people are putting in food. Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves is a line of foods that you can put away that will last for a very long time. You know, they say eat what you store and store what you eat. This is great tasting stuff, healthy for you, a full line. You go to our website, cpnlive.com, and click on the button for Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves and see all the different things we have. This is good tasting food. It's reasonably priced. It will last. And it's worth its weight in gold if a problem arises. I know you don't think there's going to be anything that goes wrong. Actually, you do. This is smart. This is smart insurance. This is smart preparation. This is smart thinking. You have kids, you have a spouse, you have parents, you have dependents, you have an appetite. All those things can be addressed by a frugal but smart investment in Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves. Try them out. You will be tickled to death with the taste of them. You know what? In many cases, people start to eat this and they think, heck, this tastes better and costs less than what you're going to the grocery store to buy. cpnlive.com, check it out. Hey, my name is Stan Solomon, and you know if I have something to say, I'll say it. And I'll only tell you the truth because I'm a Republican, not a Democrat. Democrats always lie. Republicans only lie half the time. I don't lie at all. This is the fuel mule. It's an extraordinary product that was developed by a friend of mine, an engineer, and it increases the fuel mileage on your vehicle. If you have a combustion engine, this will increase your mileage by 10 to 20%. It bolts around your fuel line. You can install it yourself or have your mechanic do it. It is an extraordinary item, and it flat works. I've been using it for more than 10 years. It's increased my mileage on every vehicle I put it on, and by the way, it will last forever. You can get rid of your vehicle, just take it off and put on the next one. Go to cpnlive.com. You'll have more information there. You can order it right there. We absolutely guarantee you'll be satisfied. The Fuel Mule. It's a way to kick down your cost of fuel and kick up your mileage. Don't you love the name? I thought of it. The Fuel Mule.